The importance of the initializations position. I've seen this in some old books here and there, and some things that I see online when you guys are studying. The only difference between these two items is literally where the int I is located. This one is inside. That I is going to, it's a variable, is going to live and die inside of that for loop. Now, what do I mean by die? I'm going to do this from top to bottom. It does its job just like normal, and at the end of it, it goes away. And then our next line down is cout_i, and we get an item here saying, wait a minute, we don't know what I is. I is not declared in the scope. Like, wait a minute, it was just there. That's right. It was in this particular block. I was created, lived, did its work, and died. Sounds like an adult. Anyway, this I is not the same. It has no idea who I is. Whereas this one over here, the I is created outside of the loop. Notice it doesn't say int I equals 0. It just says I is equal to 0. Then we go ahead and print out our loop, which is, we're going to do it 10 times. And then if we were to cout_i, yeah, it's going to go ahead and display it as a value of 10. Now, why does that matter? To be honest with you, 99.9% of the time I do it this way. But for some reason, if you had to keep track of what value you were for something else down the road, yes, you could get away with this. But again, I bet the left side happens 99% of the time, and the right side, I'm going to say 0.001 from all the stuff that I've done. But I at least wanted to go over it to make sure that you understand a for loop is going to be self-contained whenever you create a variable in it, or in it here, or in it inside of the squiggly braces as well. If I were to have an x variable, it's not going to have any idea who that x variable is down here either. So just be a heads up and being aware of what's called scope of a value within a for loop. Now, what if you had to use multiple for loops? Fine. Frankly, we all love copying and pasting, right? This would be a copy and paste. And yes, this I variable lives, works, and dies in this for loop. This I variable lives, works, and dies. Okay. Not a big deal. So most of the time you're going to see, material going to show you something like this. And yes, I am reusing the I variable, but to be frank, these two I's really technically aren't the same. There could be another Sean Lopoli out there. I took care of it. But they're not going to have the same values as I am. I hope they're going to look a heck of a lot better than this. But nothing's the same. It just happened to be named the same. It's exactly the same point that we have in this.